Hi, my name's Emer and I'm striving for self-sufficiency. Today I'm going to talk about what I think is called, off the top of my head, a Salamander Hobbit range stove. But if I've said that wrong, I will put a correction in the video. So we've lived here for about 2.5 years. We got the stove installed probably about a year and a half ago. So having an off-grid cooking option was really important to me. I used to work in a UK government emergency and resilience team. So I mostly worked on reporting, minute taken in meetings and situational awareness. And, I would hear reports of things going on in England. So it's for that reason, England has a lot of storms, flooding, power cuts, all sorts of incidents. And I just felt that I wanted to be more prepared. So this was important to me. My partner, he just goes along with things that I want, bless him. He knows when it's really, really important to me. It's for a reason. So thankfully he supported this expensive purchase. I see it as an investment, but it's a great little stove. Okay, so this is our Salamander Hobbit range stove. So on the right we've got our firebox door. Beneath that we've got the primary air control. We've got tertiary air control underneath, along with the air wash control. Because it's a Salamander Eco, it's fitted with 3 air controls, and this depends on what kind of fuel you want to burn. So it is a multi-fuel stove. I want to only use wood because if we cook in the oven, I'm not worried about any sort of nasty chemicals or anything like that. And also it means I can use the wood ash or potash in the garden. So those are my main reasons for that. But I'm conscious that it does burn up fuel really quick. It does burn up wood really quickly. So I can see the benefit if you've got like smokeless fuel. But there's really detailed instructions in the little guide about what air controls to use depending what fuel you're using, and I think that's to make it more environmentally friendly, to burn fuel more efficiently. It comes with this little this little gadget, so you can de-ash it with the gadget. You can take the ash bin out like that, or the ash box, the ash pan. Sorry, you can take the ash pan out with this gadget. But in fairness, I just use my hands because we let it cool down first. Okay, then the oven. The weird thing about the oven is that you kind of have to just get used to what the colours mean. So orange is 200 degrees to 230 degrees Celsius. So I usually try and aim for the needle to be like in the middle of the yellow and the orange. The main issue with this is that it gets too hot sometimes. So usually the needle can be over towards the red, where you're talking like 230 degrees, which is just, you'd scorch anything in there. It is quite small, so if you're maybe feeding a big family, this might not be for you. So yeah, it's quite small in there. I can put in one of those Pyrex dishes for roasting, so that would cook, that was a pie or a casserole maybe. I've cooked crumbles in there, I've roasted butternut squash. So if I've got the fire on and I want something roasting and I don't want to put the oven on, sometimes I'll use this. But it's mostly for our backup option. I tend not to use this, that's why it's pristine inside, trying to keep it clean. But yeah, it's our backup option. It's not really our main cooking source, but it is great to have it, especially when I've seen reports of people who haven't had power for like 5+ days in winter. I know that's maybe further northern England, but it just gives me peace of mind. If there was any kind of power outage or whatever, we have got this to fall back in, so that it gives me loads of peace of mind. So the oven itself, I'll zoom in, but there is a little dial on the top, so Usually we don't really have to put this on. If you've got 0, 1 and 2, it just helps. When you put it on 1 or 2, it just helps the airflow from the firebox into the oven. It just redirects the warm air. But you know, it's cast iron, it gets hot. We very rarely actually have to move that dial from 0 because the oven gets hot after maybe an hour or so. If the fire's roaring, yeah, it doesn't need any encouragement. So it does get quite hot on its own without needing to use that dial. I think my dad got me this little Valiant temperature gauge, but it's very, very handy. So we know when it's on optimum burn. Okay, my main bugbear with this firebox, and I'll just show you. So even though at the minute we're cutting down wood, it's going to take about 18 months to dry, I'd say, in our climate. So we have ordered logs, and this is like a standard size, standard length log from our local supplier. But our main issue is that it doesn't fit, so the door won't climb. We wouldn't burn it like that anyway, but the standard size logs that we order do not fit. So what we end up doing, I've mentioned this in a previous video, is that we end up cutting them in half, which is a complete pain in the arse. And I don't mind chopping wood, but to saw it, yeah, I don't really enjoy sawing it, to be honest, by hand. It's okay, but it's when you can't be arsed. There's just times where you can't be arsed. It's quite labour intensive. So I would just, maybe if you're sawing your own wood anyway, fine. But if you're the kind of person that, you're busy, you don't have time, and you just order your logs of wood, just bear in mind that it is a small firebox and you will need smaller pieces, smaller logs of wood to go in there. So that's my main issue with it. I know we talked about, if we'd move house, we'd take this with us. But actually, it actually really bothers me. Not to be ungrateful, but maybe, I don't know, maybe you like chopping wood, sawing wood, that's absolutely fine. Maybe we just need a mini chainsaw, might solve our problems. So along with the stove, it came with installation and operating instructions. It came with like this teeny tiny pan and brush, and then I don't know what this gadget's called, but it helps open the door and shift the ash in the ash pan. The instructions are really good. They go into lots of detail, especially around like the air controls, which I still have to study sometimes to remind myself. What else? And then there's a little guide on little diagram for the oven temperature gauge, which I think is quite important. So I do always keep these instructions pretty handy. This little fan on the left is my own. I can't remember how much it was, but it was on offer at Aldi. So it's quite impressed what you can get at Aldi sometimes. Move that out of the way. So on the hot plate, I have used it a few times before. Directly above the firebox on the right, it is roasting hot. So if you imagine the hottest temperature you can get on your normal electric or gas stove, it's just like that. So it's great for boiling. Absolutely roasting hot. And then if you want to, turn the temperature down, you just simply move your saucepan to the left, and it's a little bit cooler there, so better for medium heat in the middle, and then simmering on the left. I think we've boiled spuds and we cooked soup on it before. So it's handy. And again, it's just that peace of mind of having an off-grid cooking option. I can't explain the peace of mind it gives me. So long as we've got wood and food, we're sorted. I did a lot of research before I purchased it. I liked the look of it. I liked that it had the hot plate. I liked that it had the oven. That was really important to me. I read reviews, so I think people who have small, tiny homes, small properties, have used it, and they said there's great heat off it. There is good heat off it, but this is quite a large drafty room. It's our dining room, but it's connected to the kitchen and there's no door. and it's like original wooden floor. It's really drafty, so I would say there is good heat considering the size, but maybe not so good if you're in a really drafty room like we are. Yeah, overall, I do love it. So hopefully I've covered everything, but if I've missed anything, just please let me know in the comments. Yeah, thank you to the person who requested this video. I just want to quickly say a massive thank you to Mike, also known as UK Urban Prepper. He very kindly gave my YouTube page a shout out to his local network and on his YouTube page. So thank you so much. If you don't already follow him, do give him a note, give his page a nosy. I've got lots to learn from him and his network. And yeah, massive thank you to recent subscribers. I've had quite a few subscribers recently, which is really lovely. I really appreciate the support. Don't always feel like I know what I'm doing, but I'm learning, and I'm going to share my mistakes and share lessons learned as well. It's just nice to be part of the community where you don't feel crazy. People who are also interested in being prepared and who might have military background or government background, or have just had their eyes open, or for whatever reason that it is worth preparing for. These are uncertain times. There's always uncertain events ahead of us, so really nice to be part of the UK prepper community in particular. I've got lots to learn from much more experienced people. I think that's everything from me. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions, just pop them in the comments. I'll try and answer them. If there's any requests for future video topics, let me know, because it helps me out. It helps give me some ideas of what to film. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.